Hey, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue on our journey of learning just one little bit more of Chinese language a day through a Chinese expression. Last time we talked about a beautiful expression about young girls, mostly, the vibrancy on them, showing in this bushy language image of two bushes next to each other, and it's growing, it's populating, it's reproducing. So reproductive features of young girls depicting just by these two plant-based images. That's the kind of vibrancy we're talking about, the life shown on a person and touching people. So mostly the audience, the opposite gender, who admiring the vibrancy in the other gender is a potential mate. So that kind of the beautiful we talk about 楚楚动人. So today, 人, we're going to discover another aspect of 人. Okay, so this is stick figure, and 人言可畏. 言 is the verbalization, the pronunciation, the speech the person gives, right? The figure gives. So this, we talked about a few episodes ago, came from the tongue image. So the mouth, you have the mouth. Because of the tongue, the character was built on the mouth. It's an indicator of something inside the mouth. So it's the mouth, the tongue. These are the organs that make speeches, right? And then there are sound waves or sound bites, a longer horizontal line, and shorter horizontal line. That means the sound waves going further away from you toward the audience. So it's airborne sound or energy transmitting, produced by the mouth and the tongue. So that's pretty complicated way of ancient Chinese depicting words, speeches. And 可, we have seen this structure as part of the component of 歌, means songs. So 可 originally means part of the song. And if we look at the structure by itself, okay, it's built like this. This symbol I have seen like smiley face with the upticking the edge of the smile. So that's our mouth symbol, something related to speaking. And this structure, there are two versions. Okay, one, they're talking about, according to some researchers or scholars or linguists who study the origin of the language, saying this is a structure of a stand the ancient people used to pray to the god or to communicate with the god as kind of a podium, right? People stand on it, next to it, to have communication with the god. So that's one interpretation of this. The second interpretation is we see in other structures of Chinese character formation that this simply means the airflow going, and then here it's a stopper of the airflow. So what does that mean? It's related to, again, speaking, is the airflow from your pipe going up, right? And then it's going to be stopped by the sound making mechanisms in your mouth, your tongues, your mouth, your lips. And that's going to stop the breath, narrow the channel, or it modulate the channel, how the air goes out, right? Explosively or slowly, different ways. That's how we make words or our speeches, our sounds. And or how we sing as well, with the pitch, the vibrancy that becomes singing. So all this are the sound making mechanism from the mouth. So either you're communicating with a god, or you're making the sound by passing the air from the pipe through the stopper to have a way of a communication, either by speaking or singing. That word eventually means can or permission to do something. A lot of times we say 不可以 means no can, means cannot. You're not allowed to do something. And again, from the two origins, One is communication with the God. So you get permission from the God, right? You don't get authority from yourself, but you, you get endorsement from the divine. That's one kind of permission. Yes, you can. The other one is simply by verbal expression. You communicate, you are able to convince people to lead, influence, right? That's another, the power of the words, right? That's another way to gain permission to do something. So, and to elaborate, so you can speak, right? Or you can sing. So if you can sing something, that means you can, swing it to get permission to do something. So that's complicated elaboration of the two origins of this character and how it eventually got derived from the singing or praying or talking with a God to get permission to do something. It simply means can. And this is a very common contemporary Chinese use in our language, means can. Okay, wait, okay. Because I'm a Chinese speaker, so when I see this character, immediately it transmits a negative energy somehow to me, try to incur fear. So it almost like have visual impact of me reading this character. I know like this is some threat, some bad things going to happen. And here is the origin of how the character is written. One scholarly interpretation of that is ghost. So these two gnarly hand, bony hands are the ghost's hands. They are using a stick, this horizontal thing, right? Stick going to hit on or attack people. So I don't exactly know what's the circle with a cross over there. Maybe that's the target to hit. But the origin came from the ghost with the stick. So in a Western, imagine the image of death, right? In that black hoodie, you never see the face or a scary face with what is this called? A sickle? The thing to cut. So that's the image. Similar in Chinese, that's the image of ghost. So that's a fear inducing image. So eventually it means feared or something to be feared about. So what do you mean? People, words can feared. Chinese have a lot of, when they form a 4-character expressions, it's almost like a short story condensed only in 4 characters. And so a lot of the glue words that make it Englishly correct flow of the language disappear. So we only capture the most important concept. So translated in English would be people's words can be feared or can be damaging. Okay, so that's the English fully, grammatically correct way of interpreting 人言可畏. And this words actually, this expression for character expression got popularized 100 years ago by the suicide of this first generation movie star, Ruan Lingyu. That's how to say her name. She, of course, represents the ideal, the human beauty back then in the 1920s when the movie industry just took off in China. And she's one of the best known Chinese actress back then. And because she took her own life, that make it even more sensational, make her even more known and I guess sort of respected in a way. And like people got more curious about her life. So in short, there are some scandals about her relationship with 2 men. And at that time in China, a woman's reputation is highly guarded and watched and criticized and judged. So her, in her position, in her name and fame, get attacked, watched, judged by the newspapers back then, the paparazzis back then, and she couldn't handle that. I mean, that's one version of story. The other one would be she was so disappointed by her unfortunate love life. The events happened to men, basically abusers and users of her fame and fortune to benefit themselves instead of loving her. Like, she didn't get what she wanted from men, from relationships. So she was deeply disappointed and disturbed by what's happening on the newspaper, on the people, and she was going to face a court appearance back then. And she took her own life the day before the court appearance and died at age 25. Okay, so that is the beginning or the popularization of this phrase, 人言可畏. That means words can kill, really. And okay, so I guess that's the first generation of stars facing bullies, facing their privacy got sacrificed, become entertainment, and some decides to quit in this dramatic way. So 100 years later, similar things happening, but societal tolerance of personal stories or divorce or entanglement with men, it's like no biggie. It's just part of the public domain knowledge, entertainment, like nobody take it that seriously. Or women's reputation feel like that undamageable. I mean, we all grow thicker skin, I guess, over time. All right, 人言可畏，开始into the consistency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.